It's live coding happy hour, and we have so many people with us today. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Live Coding Happy Hour. It's a show that the dev program puts on Fridays, typically at the end of our work week, so that we can, unwind, relax, and jump into just some fun ServiceNow development. We have a couple of shows if you've never joined us before. We have Creator Toolbox, which is another live stream, but more of a planned demo, good feature cycle episode. We had our first Creator Toolbox last week with Maria, Gabriela, and Brad. And then today, Live Coding Happy Hour is less scripted, a little bit more all over the place. And we're really trying to show you what it really looks like to do development in ServiceNow or in general, where we try to tackle things that we haven't tackled before, where we might be running into mistakes and having to debug, just a little bit more of an accurate representation of what dev life is like. And that's what Live Coding Happy Hour is. And so before we get into the happy hour part of it, let's go do some introductions. Hi, everyone. My name is Earl Duque. I am a developer advocate with ServiceNow. I've been with ServiceNow for about a year and a half, but before that, I did 4 to 5 years of development with different customers, mostly in the higher ed space. And I'll pass it over to Getty.
Hello, everybody. My name is Maria Gabriela Ochoa, Perez, Waechter. A lot of you know me as MGOPW. This is my first live coding happy hour as an official ServiceNow employee. Yay. Before, I was a MVP for 2021 and 2022. I've been in the community for about 5 years now, and I am now a outbound product manager for the Next Experience. Over to the Brad.
Hey everybody, Brad Tilton. I am also an outbound product manager with the Next Experience team. I've been developing on the platform for a long time and excited about today's show.
I was so unprepared for that, sorry. Hi everyone, I'm Astrid. So I have been working on the Now platform for about 4 years now. Started in consulting and moved to my current company, Flight Center Travel Crew. And next to Adam.
Hi, everyone. I'm Adam, a developer MVP for 2023, a service delivery manager at GlideFast. I've been on the platform for, I guess we can round up to 8 years at this point. And yeah, hi, everyone.
Hi, I'm Chris Helming. I have been on the platform for about 5 years. I'm one of the 2023 MVPs, and I work at University of Maryland.
Yay, smorgasbord of faces. All right, so we have a good peanut gallery today. And so what we're going to be doing on the show, I'm doing a lot of intros. This is the first live coding happy hour in a while. Brad, I'm going to pass it over to Brad soon, and Brad's going to share his screen. And Brad is going to introduce his topic, try to tackle a problem, and try to actually do development on it. And then the rest of us get to trash talk him the entire next hour. And that's what we're doing, but mostly not just trash talking, but also helping out and just kind of mind melding together as we try to tackle this issue. So Brad, what are we doing today?
Should we introduce our drinks first?
Oh, my bad. Man,
I
went off my own script.
Ooh.
Oh, right. I went off my own script. Okay.
I forgot
the happy hour part of it. So let's do some drink introductions and talk about what we're drinking today. So I am drinking a New Glory Gummy Worms Pale Ale.
Oh,
ooh!
I also am drinking coffee at the same time. Shout out to Adam, who made me dive down into the espresso money hole. Gabby,
I
what are
made you
drinking?
do nothing. I just did opened your eyes.
It's all I drink.
Yeah, Adam is dangerous. Don't talk to him about making coffee. Next thing you'll know, you're gonna wake up in a ditch, $3,000 out of your pocket with a brand new espresso machine. It's gonna be awful. So I am drinking my trusty Angry Orchard peach mango that's been in the fridge for about a year. I feel like I've drank this on the past 7 live coding happy hours I've been on. Go, Brad.
All right. I actually did get an espresso machine for my birthday this week, so I've been working every morning trying to get everything dialed in. I'm close. We still don't
You
have
should
a
talk
great
to
cup
Adam.
yet, but today I'm drinking a Boulevard Brewing Bourbon Barrel Quad. So I'm excited about it.
That's it.
Alrighty, so over here in Australia, it is 7 a.m. So this is a mimosa with it's a bit of prosecco and orange juice. The orange juice was too far at the back of the fridge, so it's a little bit more like a daiquiri.
Nice. Adam.
Trying to get the virtual background to play nice. I have a 10-year Springbank single malt scotch for today.
Going hard.
I have an other half double dry hopped Mylar Bags IPA.
Nice. All right, so we will be drinking while we do coding, see how that goes, and at the end we'll rate our drinks. One thing I forgot to mention too before we jump into the content is, Brad, do you want to point up there? Point to the corner?
What corner?
There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
We're in
Yay.
We are currently in the ServiceNow Utah release content. So if you go to devlink.sn/Utah, I have a link. There it is. If you go to devlink.sn/Utah, you can see all of our planned content for this release and see all the different things that we're going to be demoing and trying to do feature demonstrations of for devlink for the Utah release. Cool. All right, now we can kick it off over to Brad.
All right. So today we are going to be talking about Next Experience, because that's what we talk about these days when I'm on the show. So we'll talk a little bit about what's new in Utah. We did a Next Experience Academy. Was that this week? It was 2 days ago, right?
It was this week.
Yes.
It feels way longer than that.
Wow.
But we just did an academy where we ran through all of the new stuff in Utah with Next Experience and UI Builder. So I'm not going to get super into it because we already did it all on Wednesday. Thanks, Lisa, for confirming that it was this week. But I'll talk a little bit about it, and then we'll get into our actual problem that we want to solve today, which kind of revolves around an employee, appreciation recognition app that we've got. So we'll start with just some quick things about UIB, because that's where we're going to be today. Is one of the biggest changes to UIB in Utah. UIB is what we call UI Builder, is we added this experience homepage. And so previously, if you open up UI Builder, you click on an experience, you get immediately dropped into the UIB editor, the page editor, with whatever the homepage of the instance is.
Everybody, take a sip of your drink. Brad, please zoom in.
Oh, all right. Yeah, Chuck's not here to tell me to zoom in.
It's a tradition on the show that we always forget that people can't read minuscule handwriting.
All right. Yes. All right. So this is experience view, is what we call this. So this is your what was that?
Experience view. Sorry, we keep interrupting you.
No, good.
Take another drink, Earl. Hit the wrong button.
Experience view was my face, so this is the better experience view.
Yes, this is experience view. So it lists some details about your experience, and then it lists all of your pages and their variants, which is very nice because it'll tell you, hey, the record page may have a few variants to it. You may have some other pages that have some variants. It tells you the order of the variants, which is really nice because previously you had to actually click into each variant and then click on something to find out what its order is. So it's a really good kind of high level, here is everything that has to do with your experience in one place. And then you can click directly into a variant from there. You can also take a look at the settings and edit some of the settings for your experience. So that's one of the big things that's new with Utah. We'll get into a few of the other things that are new with Utah. But with that, we're going to get into the actual problem that we have today. I'm excited about
Earl,
this.
show our faces.
We've been prepping a little bit. So today we have an employee appreciation app. It's actually an Earl appreciation app.
Earl appreciation.
Oh no, this is what it was.
So we have this instance called earlrules.service-now.com, where we have this app that's called Earl Appreciation here. And what basically happens in this app is we've got a few tables, and this app is integrated with Mastodon. And so you can create a Mastodon toot, is what we call them apparently. And there is a hashtag that we can use if somebody wants to stick that up on the screen or put that in the chat.
Which one did we decide on?
I don't know that we decided on one, but we should decide on one.
So there is nothing. It doesn't exist.
Hashtag I love Earl.
Oh no.
That'll work.
So,
I love Earl. Well,
everybody,
we may need to be
go
more
to...
specific.
No, I think it's like beautiful, beautifully vague.
All right.
So everybody go to social.sndevs.com, log into your account or sign up for one, and do hashtag I love Earl if you want to give him some feedback and have it show up on today's show.
The only rule is it has to be positive.
Has to be positive. We love Earl. It's Earl appreciation.
I knew it was going to make you so uncomfortable.
I don't know what to do with this. I'm like sweaty now. This is
all right. So what we have here is I'm going to open a workspace as this one. There we go. All right, so we're going to open our workspace here. So the way that what our use case is so people are going to get on Mastodon. They're going to create toots. I don't know that I'm going to be able to say that without grinning at all during this show. But you create a toot with a hashtag. Our instance pulls it in, and then we're going to turn the toot into an Earl task. And so the Earl task gets assigned to someone who has to go tell Earl about the appreciation. So there's so many toots that we need a big team of people to do this. We need to introduce some automation into it. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a home page for our workspace experience that's going to make it easier to convert these toots into Earl appreciation tasks. If UI Builder ever... Oh, this is Workspace Builder. That's why it's not loading.
okay. Gabby asked for like a picture of me because I thought it was going to be like a slide. Okay. I thought it was going to be like one little thing that you were going to try and embarrass me about just really quick, and we were going to move on to the app. I didn't know you were going to make the entire freaking app about it.
Look at the image. Look at the image on the unified nav.
We did already theme this instance, so you can see we've got a nice logo here.
Oh my
god! Y'all can see that. We can zoom in a little bit.
It's art. And also, I'd like to thank Astrid, Adam, and Chris. They helped out a lot with the Mastodon integration and getting this to happen. Thank you.
Yeah, so I am assuming, okay, it looks like y'all already did that. I'm assuming y'all have all the property updated to where we're pulling the stuff in. All right, great.
You made Earl rules.
Earl rules.
We're going to get in trouble with all these random instances we keep registering.
No, all you got to do is spin it back down afterwards. We'll be fine.
We had a business purpose.
All right. So here we have UI Builder. One thing I want to call out about Utah before we actually get into our Earl experience is that you have a separate, so we've got all these experiences we can open, and then we also have page collections. And so page collections have been around for they were at least around in Tokyo. I don't remember when we introduced them first of all. But a page collection is basically a page that's going to show up in a viewport or in tabs. So it's a subpage that you can reuse across multiple pages. And so putting the page collections down here is just an easy way to actually get to and create some of those page collections that you can then reuse between different experiences. So if you're not familiar with it, most people are not. One example of this is in the service operations workspace. If you're looking at an incident record, the overview tab on that incident record will have like a little page that shows you an overview of the incident. And that's actually a page, it's a sub page that's being shown on the incident. So it's a page collection there. All right, so let's go ahead and open our Earl experience. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to do a few different things here. So the first thing that we're going to do is we want to pull in all of these mastodon toots. I still can't say it without grinning. And we want to display them on the page. And one of the fun things we're going to do with this is we're going to use a record watcher so that we don't have to refresh the page for new toots to come in. So we're having a lot of fun. There are also some practical things that we're doing, which is the best of both worlds. So for the home page, I'm going to create a new variant here. And I obviously have not practiced this because I don't quite remember. There we go, duplicate variant. So one of the big things in Utah, things have moved around. So it may not be obvious where things are. Like the create buttons are gone and everything. We're trying to make it a little easier to know where to go for things. So for duplicating this variant, I don't really want to duplicate it, but we're going to say home default toots. Then we'll create it. And then I'm actually going to delete this dashboard component. So I don't know how far we're going to get with this, but the main thing that we do want to do is show the toots on the page here. One thing that I'll call out is we added this width, I guess, drop down here. And so this lets you, this basically lets you test in the preview for different screen sizes. So that while you're developing it, if you know that everybody's going to be on really narrow screens, really large screens, you can kind of preview how that's going to look. You can also do this. So 1920 is more pixels than I currently have here. And I have the fit checkbox checked. So it's going to scale everything into whatever the space is. If I uncheck this, then I would have to scroll and I'll get actual size. So we're going to go fill actually, which is more dynamic. All right, so I'm going to add a container.
Do you think every release is going to get these kind of like UI changes at this point?
I don't know that they'll all be this. Like there were a lot of UI changes to UI Builder in this release to make it easier to use. I hope we will get improvements to UI Builder every release, but I don't know that they'll be this drastic.
Okay, so this was particularly exception to the...
Yeah. So one of the things about this release was like, let's make it easier to kind of get into UI Builder, give everybody a picture of what the overall, page is and those sorts of things. I guess we should show, there's some discussion going on around toots. So let's kind of show what that looks like on the back end. So again, we had our group of MVPs that are on the call did a great job of creating an integration that pulls toots from Mastodon. And so we can see that we've got usernames and then content that we're pulling in. And so what we want to do, go ahead.
For those of you who aren't necessarily familiar with it, Mastodon is an open source community of sorts that has arisen as of late as an alternative to Twitter. So we have the ServiceNow SNDevs community, the developers in our community have created a server that you can sign up for and enjoy social media-ing with people. And you can show your Earl appreciation right now, and it'll show up on Live Coding Happy Hour. on Earl Appreciation Day.
That's right.
International Earl Appreciation Day.
International. We've got Astrid.
And to be clear, that is also a feature that will update with every new release. So when we get to Washington, still appreciating Earl.
That's right. We'll have some new Earl features in Washington. We're working with the docs team. Earl,
You're on mute, Earl.
Let's get
Take a
back to
drink.
the app, please.
All right.
We
So what I'm
wanted
going to
chatter. Now it's too much chatter. Please pick one.
All right, so I've added a container. I made it a grid. We're going to do a 2-column layout here. In the first column, I want to show toots. Oh, container. Good word. And then in the container, I'm going to put a repeater. And then in order to add data to my repeater, so a repeater is a component that lets you iterate over a set of data. And so, oh, there's a comment about Washington. Yes, Washington is after Vancouver. I think I missed
Hey, we don't have any requirements for our MVPs to know the alphabet, okay?
that.
They know how to do integrations. They know so much about ServiceNow, but they don't got to know the alphabet.
Look, I mean, I'm in Australia. Vancouver is just too far. Washington, D.C., a little bit closer. I can sort that.
You're right. Plus, your
that
alphabet's
true?
upside down.
ZY.
All right, so I've got my lookup records data resource. We've got our toots table. I think I want to return. I think I want all toots. Oh, this is what I want actually. I added a field for the toots. I want all pending toots.
Thank you so much, Earl, for the translation into Australian. Now our Australian viewers and guests are able to read Live Coding Happy Hour at the bottom of the screen. Thank you.
Got to get the representation there.
Thank you.
Where's have we heard from Upside Down Andrew? No. All right.
No, not yet.
He's been busy. He's been busy.
I know. All right. So what we did, we've got a lookup records data resource. We pointed it at the toots table, gave it a condition, and by default, it's just going to give me the sysid of each record, which is not useful to me. So I'm going to add some return fields. So I still do want the sysid. And then I want the account and then the content, I believe. All right, so this looks right. So I have the sysid of the toot, I have the account, and then I have the HTML here. So this is going to be fun. We'll bind this HTML to an HTML component. It'll be a good example there.
Yeah, Brad, are you releasing these toots right away, or are they being staged beforehand?
So I would love to say that someone is looking at them before we show them on a live, code YouTube stream, but no, we're not really doing anything. So they come in as pending, and then our goal is going to be to turn them into either say this is not actually something that we want to assign to somebody to go give Earl live feedback on, or it is a thing where we want to assign it to somebody to go give live feedback to Earl. So there's a pending state, there's a complete state, and there's a canceled state. So I think we'll end up wanting a assign or cancel button on each of these toots. Does that answer that question?
Oh, that does.
Okay.
And also, we do have the SNDevs administrators keeping an eye out on the feed, so they'll just delete any offending toots, ideally before they get tooted onto the tooting instance. Toot toot toot.
What was the toot joke? I missed it. Sorry.
Releasing the toots.
Oh, I did miss that. It was a good one. My bad. All right, so I hooked this data resource up to the repeater, and you will see that we have 11. So that's a good sign. I think there were probably about 11 toots in there. I'm not going to be able to keep saying toot. I have too many kids.
Everyone drink whenever you toot.
Oh my gosh, if we drink every time someone says toot, we're gonna die.
So one thing with the repeater component, if you didn't know this already, it's going to tell me how many instances of the array I'm passing to it, but it's only going to show me the first one on the preview. And that's so that, if you had 100 items in your repeater and you did actually want to show them all on your page, it's not going to actually show all 100 of those in the preview here, because that would slow UI Builder way down, and it doesn't need help being slow. That was mean. UI Builder is doing fine. All right. So I think we should get a container with each of these. And for now, let's do a stylized text with the person's name. I don't want a preset. So we're going to say, let's give it an H4. And then if I'm inside of a repeater, I'm going to use item.value and then we want a count. So we should get something there. We don't. That's okay. And then under that, let's add a component after the stylized text. And then, what's the HTML thing? Is it rich text? It's rich text. All right. And then we've got rich text, and we're going to bind that HTML value to the rich text here. Item.value.content. So I think this should work. The preview is telling me that it's not working. So we're gonna see what's happening here. So I'm saving. We're gonna open.
Object. No, not again. Not like this.
Just objects all the way down.
You know what I need to do is I need to change the settings on this page and make the order a -1,000. Because we have 2 home variants, and I think the other one was overwriting. So let's hit a refresh, and we should get. So it looks beautiful. All right.
Oh, beautiful.
Nice. Perfect.
So let's see what's going on here, and then we'll do a little bit of styling. So let's look back at our data. All right. So what we have done is we've dot walked to account and content. Both of these are objects. So we want account.displayValue and content.value instead of whatever it is that I actually did. So account.displayValue, and this is sometimes where the autocomplete can break down, which is a thing that we have looked at.
Which is what it's doing right now, right?
Yeah, so now we're good.
Oh my God.
Oh, I didn't actually read it. Was it too nice?
I'm gonna have a toothache.
All right, we have some good toots in here. So I'm going to add some spacing in because I'm not a big design guy, but spacing.
Oh, this is perfect to be the example too. Perfect.
There you go.
Earl, you have always advocated for me and other women, and you are such a strong advocate, and you use your voice to lift other people up so much. You are truly an inspiration. I have learned so much from you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Earl did not pay her to say that.
All right, let's see how it looks here. So we've got.
And Earl, just so you know, like we were told jumping in to help with this one, this is the most effort that's gone into one of these for you, because we all appreciate you so damn much.
The most effort into a live coding happy hour ever, and it's for Earl.
That's right.
Thanks.
How many of these do we actually have data ahead of time?
Not
Yeah,
many.
it's no comment. So the other thing that I want to do is for this data resource, I want to add an order so we get the newest ones. Order by created at, and we want this to be descending. This bugs me, by the way. We need to change this to a dropdown so that you don't have to type ASC or DESC, but that's a thing. All right, so the thing I want to do now is we're going to add another data resource. So this is the exciting part. We're going to use a record watcher. So this is something that people have been asking for a while. It's not a Utah feature. I think we released this in Tokyo, but it could have been before Tokyo. I think it was Tokyo though. So this is basically a record watcher data resource. And all it does is you point it at a table and then it just fires an event when something gets updated on that table. So what we're going to do is we're going to fire it we're going to point it at the toots table. And we're going to say if there is a new toot with a pending state,
Toot.
And then we're going to subscribe to it.
If
And
you
then
end up
it's gonna-
downloading the iOS app, it actually makes like little elephant tooting noises, and it's super cute. I love it. Just thought I'd put that out there. Please continue, Brad.
Nice.
Keep us on topic, Brad. I believe
No.
in you.
All right. So what we're going to do, started, I think we want this message received event, right? So this is anytime it finds that something has been updated, it's just going to fire an event. So from here, what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to refresh our lookup records data resource. And if I was a really good developer, I would be renaming all of these data resources and components. But since I'm kind of a lazy developer, I'm not doing that right now. All right. Okay, so this should be refreshing this list live, basically, is what should be happening. So I'm going to
send one.
I'm going to refresh here, and I think our toot grabber is running what every 15, 20, 30 seconds. So
Yeah, it's
The
every
tutor
30
scooter.
seconds.
the tutor scooter.
Tutor scooper. It's a tutor scooper.
So it should just show up without me we could go. There we go. I did not do
Woo!
anything, and Adam's
There it is.
tweet showed up right here, or toot. Sorry.
That's actually kind of wild. And that's like less than 30 minutes that you got all that configured. I mean, like, it would have taken longer than that in the service portal trying to wrestle with Record Watcher with all the data stuff.
Yeah, so that Record Watcher data resource is really nice in that all we're doing is we're pointing it at a table, we're giving it conditions, and then it's going to fire. You know, I think we do need to say, be careful of how often you're using this. You know, this is really on a home page for us right now. So be careful of putting it on a home page, because if you had 1,000 people load this up, who knows what the instance performance would look like. But it is, you know, with great power, the Record Watcher comes great responsibility. So you just need to be careful with it.
Do you know what the underlying technology for this data resource is? Is it?
It uses the AMB effect, which is the asynchronous message bus. So I believe it is it's either the same or similar mechanism as the service portal Record Watcher, but you've always been able to build this into a component with the CLI. We just have it as a data resource now to make it a little easier to use.
Okay, I was wondering if it was like something like a GraphQL or a WebSocket or something, but it's the same technology as before.
I believe it is using the same methods that we've been using across the board, but I could be wrong there. All right, so we have phase one is complete, although I really want this background to be around the whole thing, and it kind of annoys me that it isn't, but we all know that if we try to troubleshoot this, it could take like the next 4 hours in terms of troubleshooting something like that. So what I really want to be able to do is I want to be able to put a button on this that says create an Earl appreciation task. Again, we get so many of these that we need a large team to be able to intake all of the Earl appreciation toots and then actually go to Earl's house and tell him how much that we appreciate him.
Give him a giant hug.
That's right.
We even fly internationally just to make sure it happens.
So we're going to add another container here.
We
And
should
that goes
make
on this side.
I think
Yeah,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
3D print Earl appreciation pins to hand out at Knowledge.
Yes. You're muted, Earl.
There, we fixed the problem. Go ahead, Brett.
The Earl Appreciation Task Force.
She's gone.
You've got 4 more. You can't mute all of them.
She
I
appreciated
don't know.
Earl too much.
Ooh,
You have to walk a
Earl
fine
is
line.
abusing his power.
What am I doing here?
Button.
Tasks. We want to the Earl tasks. So I think we'll want another repeater. Yes. Let's do another, or we could do a list. Let's do a list because it's different. All right, let's add a simple list. We are rebuilding the list. Rebuilding is the wrong word. We are looking at new ways to make lists more flexible and to detach them from retrieving their own data here. So that's something you can look out for, safe harbor in the future. We don't have any tasks yet. No, I'm not going to use a list because then it's going to be kind of a pain to refresh it actually. Oh, but removing this list, I can show in the content tree here, we added right clicking in Utah. So I can right click and hit delete. See, that was on purpose.
Yeah, that was totally on purpose.
Yep.
We totally have that on the script. Yep.
Yes. Yeah, there's a script.
On live coding.
Yeah.
Totally a script. So we're going to add another lookup records. For this one, we're going to query the Earl task table. It's just called Earl task. Yep.
Earl stickers actually do exist. There's 10 of them in the world. So I have one of them, and then there's 9 out there. I think I gave most of them away in The Hague during last year's Knowledge. So
I didn't get one. I was with you the whole time in The Hague.
Wow.
You didn't ask for one, buddy.
Friend, you are.
Top
True.
10 anime betrayals.
But there are like 9 people out there that have like very rare Earl stickers.
What happens if you collect all 10?
I appear like Exodia.
You get one wish.
I think let's say activist true. It's probably the right way to do that. All right.
Oh man, I can make a vector on my and then print it on my Cricut, and we can make Earl car stickers.
So about the app,
All right, we don't have any data yet because we don't have any tasks because we haven't created them. So we have tasks that are going to show up. I'll save if anybody's getting nervous. And then one of the things that we're going to do is in here, we're going to add a button to create an Earl task. And you'll notice the way that I am adding components. I love that we're up to 25 toots. That's great. Is I am using the content tree and I'm never using the preview pane. And you can just take that however, but it's a lot cleaner when you just use the content tree here. So label, let's say, create an Earl.
we
Do we really need more Earls? We
That's
already
just
have
the
one.
shorthand of what we're calling the Earl tasks. We're going to do a few things. I'm going to save again. we need another data resource. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a record here, and then we
Look
are
up record
going
3.
to update a record. So I need 2 data resources. I need to create.
How come we
record.
can't rename those?
We can. He just chooses not to.
Oh, okay.
What?
Just making sure.
Right, Brad? You can rename the create record 1. You just
Yes.
choose not to because you're a rebel.
The best practice is absolutely to rename all of your data resources so that they make sense. But I'm lazy, and it's kind of a pain to do it. We're just going to get through this.
Do as we
what I
say, not as we do.
That's right.
I mean, it's accurate to dev, right? Some of us finally realize halfway through,
True.
oh, I should be naming these
That's
better.
Then the junior dev comes in and renames everything for you. That's how it works, right? So, all right. So we have a create and an update record. The nice thing about these is that these create and update records, they're not specific to a record or a table. You really only need one of them for the most part, one of each of them. And so you'll be able to pass it. You'll be able to pass it data. One thing that I can't help but call out at this point is if you look at lookup records, record watcher, lookup records 2, all of these data resources are query data resources. And so they all have properties that I can set right now. So I can bind things to these properties. These data resources are going to run when the page loads, and they're going to run anytime any of their properties change. And they may run in other times as well. So if I refresh them or other ways, any data resource that mutates data, so if it updates or creates records, you can't bind any data to them. And here you pass them data when you call them. So they only run when they're invoked. So it's a big difference between a query data resource and a mutate data resource. It would be nice to have a UI indicator, whether it was query versus mutate. I do not disagree with that. All right. So we have those 2. So our button, create an URL. And this is an URL, not a URL. If you are a long-time live coding happy hour watcher.
I'm so uncomfortable.
That's an Earl vent handler.
An Earl vent handler. I like it. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a task here. So you'll notice when I click on the event handler, now I have the ability to add things to the properties of the data resource. So this is going to be an Earl task. And the field values are going to be, I was going to create an assignment group, but I didn't. Okay, what we want is, I think we have a toot field.
This also means you reserve the internal Earl namespace.
That's right.
In all of Surface now.
You can do all sorts of things with that. Where are we? Item. Value. sysid. Value.
I've been on mute. I created the Earl Appreciators user group.
Nice. All right. So let's add an assignment group. The heavy sighing makes everything worth it.
It really does. This is the best way to speedrun never getting invited on LCHH again, but it was worth it.
Okay. I even asked Brad, hey, usually one of the advocates drives these things. I just wanted to make sure, check in to see if one of you were driving this. I'm like, oh no, we handle it. I was like, oh, interesting. Okay. Because usually like the outbound product managers are hanging out as the commentary and like I would be driving, but then I didn't even think of it as suspicious when you immediately like, no, we got it. Don't worry.
Wait, what about when the 3 of us were invited? Is that when you got suspicious?
Who messed with my data?
We talked about including the end.
Your intern started renaming your data resources. The Australian
did somebody rename them?
Oh, I guess you got to refresh.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's be careful of updating anything on the page while I'm on the page.
I love this so much, Earl. Not as much as I appreciate you.
He's hiding
yes.
his face.
We can run LCHH. We're technical. It's okay.
All right, so right now, let's test this because we've
Okay.
done a lot of things without testing.
Okay.
So
Look at that amazing toot.
And then if I refresh, we should get something on the right here, but we don't. Let's check the table. I don't think I have a. Let's open up App Engine Studio.
Are we done yet?
We're not. Oh, there it is.
Look at his
Who's that guy?
face.
His face is everywhere.
Here is our table. This is the Earl table. Let's see if we have anything in the Earl table.
Christopher says we don't have the component anymore. Could that have been?
Yes. I have a repeater, but we're not displaying anything. Yes.
Look at Christopher with
Good
the
job,
eagle eyes.
Christopher.
Eagle eye over here.
It's almost like when you are drinking and coding, things can go wrong. Let's go. Let's add a stylized text to.
Way to go, Christopher. You've earned an Earl.
Okay.
Redeemable at knowledge for Earl stickers.
Okay.
That's right. Let's just, I guess let's just bind the number to it.
I like that Christopher is like, that's why we're here in the audience, and ignoring the fact that there's 5 people in the peanut gallery right now.
Listen, we are drinking.
All right, where are we at? I have 13 minutes left to make this work.
You got this, Brad. I believe in you.
We're going to do it. I appreciate
No
that.
amount of sabotaging from our junior Australian admin will get you down.
Well, they already did all the hard work. You know, there's no sabotage there. I'm just making it look pretty. They did the thing where you get all the stuff. All right, we have some tasks. No, what did I do wrong? Oh, this is what I did wrong.
Oh, you didn't put the data.
Is it possible to get the dummy data values when you first create the repeaters and stuff like that to like default to dummy data so that you can immediately know you didn't do anything?
Yeah, so by default, it has a hard-coded array of 2 objects in here. And so by default, it's 2, but we also have 2 records in the table, which is why it didn't dawn on me. So let's get a couple of records. All right.
Awesome.
So what we want to do now is on the button, we want to create a record. We want to do a few things. So we want to create the record. And then one of the things I want to talk about is in UI Builder, instead of trying to orchestrate everything with one script or button, what we want to do is we want to kind of daisy chain events together. So what I'm doing is I am calling this data resource, this execute data resource, and instead of adding just more things on this button click, I'm going to go to the data resource, and I think this makes sense to do. I'm going to add a note not initiated. We're going to say, if this thing succeeded, let's do some refreshes. So I want to refresh, I think probably both the lookup records. There we go. I didn't hit the add button. Lookup records 1, lookup records 2. And all right. And then the other thing I'm going to do on the button click is I'm going to update the existing record. That is the toot.
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 And that's going to be item.value.sysid.value. And we are going to change the state of the toot
Toot.
to complete.
Toot.
Where's that echo coming from? The world may never know.
No.
We probably don't actually have to refresh this, but that's fine. So let's come back over here. Let's refresh and we'll see if this actually works. So this one should go away. It went away, and then we got another task. Let's take this one and try it. That looks like it worked. We have so many Earl tasks now.
The Earl Appreciator team busy.
All right. And then what if we click on this? Does it actually... Hey, there we go.
Oh, gosh.
Even the links work.
That's amazing.
That's actually interesting because it's pulling the whole HTML of the tweet then, huh?
It is.
The toot.
Yes, it is.
It's pulling the HTML content, and then we bound that content to our rich text component here. And so it's just displaying the HTML.
Is that just the default for the Mastodon API?
That's a great
Yes,
question.
it
I
is.
have no idea.
Yes,
Yep.
it is. Yeah.
Neat.
For our minimum variable product, we didn't include images because we didn't think that'd be too many.
I think we
I'm
have
gonna
arrived.
add an image just to prove you wrong.
Ooh, all right. So we should get an image in one of these toots here. Is that what we're saying? Let's see.
Brad, Christopher did ask a question about if this would be the best practice anyway to use the record watcher since you might not necessarily want everything being refreshed.
Yeah, so I think the use case here practically is I'm somebody assigned to basically triage all of this data coming in. And let's say the data is coming in like pretty fast and regularly on this left list here. It's coming in fast enough to where I don't want to have to continue to refresh the page. So that could be a good way to use a record watcher. I'd probably want to put a lot of parameters around it, like only maybe show, the most recent 20 of them or things like that. But I think that's, that would be a fairly decent use case for the record watcher is when you've got data that's coming in fast enough to where you don't want to keep hitting the refresh button. Obviously, like the main way, the main use case for record watcher is when you're looking at a single record and, wanting any updates to it while you're working with it.
Can you do me a quick favor and refresh your tab real fast for me? I made an addition that I think is very important to our efforts here tonight. Please look at the fav icon. It is now glorious.
Oh, there we go.
Perfect.
But yeah. Oh.
Hey, a
We
picture.
do have some images.
Images work, I guess. Wow,
It's
that
famous
was a jump
Gabby.
scare.
I had to force that one.
Ah,
That
all
was
right. Well,
scary.
we're
I think this is a
about
great stopping point.
5 till. Yeah, I think it is. So
Okay.
Thank you all so much for joining us on Earl Appreciation Day, officially Friday, February 17th of every year.
Okay, let me thank. I don't know what to say.
We broke them.
The one thing I want to point out or say to this is one, I guess two things. One, thank you. Ridiculous. Love you all. The second part is it was only 5 years ago or something that I even learned of what ServiceNow was. And I was in a silo in my company, not even realizing that a ServiceNow developer was a thing. And then when I went to Knowledge, that company brought me to Knowledge, and I got to meet a lot of other people, and I participated, and I was thrown into the community, basically, especially on the SNDevs side. So check out sndevs.com. But it was almost entirely my involvement in the community that expanded my knowledge of ServiceNow and my experience within best practices and standards and understanding what is out there. And it was because of this kind of fun, this kind of friendships that I've built over years that I am where I am today. I am proud to say that I've worked with Brad on the same team and that I can call him a friend. The people I find I'm closest to now are these people that I barely see once or twice a year, but we talk to each other every day online. And so what I'm trying to say here is, as much as I am thankful and not knowing how to say to myself, I always want to point out that for everybody that's watching this or is seeking that kind of growth and community, you can have that too. And I'm excited to see. Oh, I hate you all. I'm excited to see what you all are up to in 4 or 5 years, because I didn't know where my life was going to go 5 years ago, and now I'm here, and that same thing can happen for all of y'all out there, and that's why I wanted to join this job, and that's what I'm excited for to see for in the future. And I'm going to stop talking.
I'm about to cry, Earl.
You guys are ridiculous. What was that, Brad? We got to go.
I just want to to be clear to everyone, we're being both nice and mean to Earl because this makes him uncomfortable. So it's not just us being nice to Earl.
Yeah, no, this is very much a prank on Earl. He did not know what we were going to do today, and he is so uncomfortable right now. He is trying his hardest to get control over the situation again.
I'm going to read my rear. It's a 3. Brad, go ahead.
It's a what?
It's a 3.
Oh, a 3.
It was okay.
I drank the Boulevard Bourbon Barrel Quad. It was excellent. I'm going to go 4.5. So that's a pretty big score for me.
The Springbank 10-year single malt gets a 5.25 out of 5 for me. Perfect. And we succeeded boost.
That's right.
Yeah, I'll go 4.5 on the other half Mylar bags. Probably throw in another 1/4 point for Brad being successful and another 1/4 point for Earl.
An Earl appreciation point. Yeah, I'm going 4.75.
Definitely. So for my mimosa, it was a 4. And add that with those 2 1/4 points, we're at 4.5, and my Earl appreciation is 6 out of 5.
Nice.
My Earl appreciation is 7 out of 5, needs more rice. My beer is drinkable. I don't like beer, so this is like a 5 for me. It's delicious. And yeah, I just want to mirror what Earl said. I literally have no idea that I would be anywhere near here 5 years ago. It felt weirdly hopeless, failing out of school and working in help desk. But sndevs.com legitimately changed my life. Brad has seen me mess up for the past 5 years and just ask him for help over and over again. And now we're coworkers, y'all. And Earl, we're coworkers, Earl. And I'm so excited to see other people and see where we're all in 5 years. So If you want to find out more, go to smdevs.com. If you are a woman or an ally, go to womennow.dev. Oh, you got my URL. Yes.
You're so
thank
fast
you.
with it. That's why we appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, Earl.
It's a default link for me now.
Earl's the best.
And if you are interested in more Utah release content, make sure to go to devlink.sn/Utah. If you don't know anything about what we're doing here and you stumbled upon the stream, go to developer.servicenow.com to learn more. Pointing at the link. What else? Is there anything else that we want to announce?
Hang out at
Register for knowledge.
CreatorCon.
Yeah, Knowledge CreatorCon. We're all going to be there, or a lot of us are going to be there. I don't know that.
Yeah,
everyone will,
a lot of
but
us will be. Awesome. Thanks again. I did my spiel already, but thank you for tuning in to Live Coding Happy Hour. Tune in on Tuesday. That's a good announcement. So for those who are interested in the next Creator Toolbox episode, which typically airs on Tuesday morning for the Americas, this next Creator Toolbox, make sure you note the time. It's actually running at 1 a.m. Pacific time, which is 2:30 p.m. in India, because it's being hosted by Pranav, our Indian developer advocate over there. And so trying to get some more friendlier times for all the people around the world. So make sure to pay attention to the times on that Utah calendar, because sometimes it says AM and sometimes it says PM. And so thank you for checking it out. And thanks, everyone. Bye. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Earl.
Thank you all.
Thanks,
Bye.
Earl.